we are going to get started with our Transition Tuesday in action, a balancing pose. So let me flip over to the post and we'll go through. So balancing pose is, or balancing table is, I'll demonstrate here so we all know what we're working with. Is you're here in tabletop pose, also known as a box. And for a balancing table, you extend one leg straight back and the opposite arm forward. So you're balancing just on one hand and one knee. And of course, you would also take that on the other side. So our first transition we're going to go through comes from Nicola, and she said, balancing table to gate, thread the needle, switch to the opposite side. So I'm actually going to face this way so you can see what my legs do. So we're here in table. I extend my leg straight back, opposite arm forward, balancing table, and she said to transition to gate. So place your hand down, your foot comes off to the side, you stand up on your knee, reach up and over for a gate pose, and I love how she said thread the needle. So I'm assuming hands come back to the earth, take the opposite hand and thread it through maybe to the ankle for your thread the needle pose, or maybe any variation. You could also come down to sit on your heel and maybe thread your needle this way for a deeper variation. And then she said to come back to balancing table, take it on the opposite side. So we're here, hand comes down, leg off to the side, stand up into your gate pose, and then thread needle here, and come back to your table pose. So I love that. You could even make it a little more strength building. So if you're here, maybe come off to the side and hold, then lower down, reach up and over for your gate pose and thread the needle here. So that's one way you could really intensify that. So awesome transitions, Nicola. Thank you for sharing. She also said you can modify with a cushion under your knee, an exercise band around the thighs. Ooh, I think you might need to tell us a little bit more about exercise band around the thighs, maybe just to create a little resistance there. All right, Michelle said balancing table, arm that is out in front comes to the mat, knee, leg on the mat, kickstands to move into modified side plank option, to be on forearm, and then to Janu Sirsasana, your head to knee pose, and then back to tabletop. So let me go this way. So we're here in our balancing table, and she said to bring your hand to the mat, foot comes down, your bent leg, that foot kickstands off to the side, open into a modified side plank. Then you can lower down, so sit bones lower down to the earth, and you can come into a Janu Sirsasana A. Love that. And then you just reverse out, so your hand comes to the earth, lift up into your modified side plank, and come back to your balancing table. Take the same thing on the opposite side. So you're here, hand comes down, foot comes down, open, and then you might need to just scoot your knee forward, at least for me it was, and then lower sit bones down and come into your forward fold here. And you can even add on from here, you could make this like a whole sequence. Then you could lift your knee up and go into a twist, or you could come into a forward fold, maybe even like a reverse plank, and then come back around into your tabletop pose. So great transitions. I love the creativity, how you went from here and then lower your sit bones to the earth. That was a lot of fun. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Marilee had a great one, balancing tabletop to active cat, where elbow and knee come together, then up into cat, catching its tail, grabbing ankle up behind you. So I love this one because it feels so good on my shoulders. So you're here in your balancing table, you crunch in, extend, reach back, grab your foot, and kick away. So this is awesome. I love the way that one feels. So demonstrating on the other side, we're here. You can even pulse this, let's say like 5 or even 10 times if you wanted, depending on what kind of class you're teaching. And then you reach back, hand to the foot, and just kick away. So awesome transitions. All right, let's see what else we got. Let me come back to our live, see if there are any questions coming in. Nope, okay. All right, and then Brandy had said, balancing table, elbow to knee, hydrant leg and cactus arm opening, then elbow to knee balancing table. So, ooh, this is such a good one to really build some strength. So we're here, and actually I think I'll go this way so you can see what my leg and arm are going to do. We're here, elbow to knee in the center, extend, hydrant, leg, cactus arm out to the side, back to the center, knee in the middle, extend, out to the side, extend, come to the middle. Ooh, I love that. And then you would do it on the other side. This is great. You can even like really challenge your students to do straight arm, straight leg, and back, crunch in the middle, extend, straight arm, straight leg, back, crunch in the middle. So just adding on another layer of intensification to that one. That's awesome. Ooh, I can really feel that in my outer hips. So thank you, Brandy, for that one. That was great. Okay, and then Eve has a good one here. She said, bring arm to the mat, tuck back toes under, lift to 3-limb down dog. And then the sequence is now limitless, but try bending, raise leg to wild thing, fall in triangle, side plank, back to plank. Okay, let's see if I can remember that. This is great. So you're here, balancing table, hand comes down, tuck back toes under, lift leg up into 3-legged down dog or 3-limb down dog, and then flip over to wild thing. So flip over to wild thing. And then for a fallen triangle, I usually come this way and then thread through to fallen triangle. And then she said side plank. So you could slide your foot underneath to side plank, come back to plank, lower knees down, take the same thing opposite side. So let's look at that again on the other leg. Here in balancing table, hand comes down, tuck toes under, lift up into 3-legged down dog, flip over into wild thing. You can flip around, thread underneath, come up into fallen triangle, then slide your leg under for side plank, come into plank, and lower knees down. Whew. I love that. That was really good on the shoulders. Awesome, Eve. Thank you so much for that one. Loved it. All right, let me just flip back over to live, see how we're doing. Okay, so those were all of the transitions that came in from all of you. Such great ideas. Thank you so much for sharing those. It's so nice to see those comments come in because it really just helps to spark creativity all around, because you can take that and really make it your own for your student base, your target audience, whoever you're teaching. All right, so let's go through. I just have a couple more to add to those ones that you all shared. So we were doing balancing table and crunching in here. So this is great, and you can, even pulse it a few times, and then, reach back for your foot, like that had been mentioned. And then what was my other one? Oh, lying stance. Okay, so you're here and balancing table. You kind of crunch in halfway, tuck your back toes under, lift your knee up, and flip. So from here, let me go this way so you can see what I'm going to do with my floating leg. I'm here. I pivot open to the side, and I just kick my foot. I can have my foot to the ground, or I can make it more active where I float my leg, and I come back. And then lower down, and you can take the same thing opposite side. Lift hand, opposite foot. Come in, crunch in slightly. Lift your base knee, kick off to the side. Come back, and lower down. And then you can really intensify that by just going side to side. So if I'm here, one hand, one foot, kick, come back, kick to the other side, and just continue doing that. So that could be an option, moving from balancing tabletop to here, kick, come back. And then one other thing to add on to that one, let's say we're here in balancing table, same thing, rather than kicking our leg out to the side, maybe we just flip all the way over to our bottom, and then we have a lot of options from here. We could lift up into like a one hand reverse table, and then you could flip around, so you could even come here, and then maybe flip back to your tabletop, or when you're here, you could just lower down and come back the same way you came to your bottom, just flip up and over. So that might be a more gentle transition for your students to come back to that pose. All right, so that was flip over into bridge. And then the other one I wanted to share was, let's say you're here at balancing table. You could lower your hand down and tap your chin to the earth with your leg floating. So you can tap your chin, lift up, tap your chin, lift up, tap your chin, lift up, and then maybe come back. And this is like your active rest, and you hold here. Then hand comes down, and you take some chin push-ups and come back. And then maybe switch to the other side. So you're holding here for a few breaths, hand comes down, take some push-ups, come back, hold here for a few breaths, hand comes down, take some more chin push-ups. And there we go. Whew, that really got me sweaty. I don't know about you. But those are the additional ones I wanted to just kind of add on to what you all post in there. And so let me know what you think, thumbs up. If you have any to add now that you've kind of seen the transitions in action, feel free to add those so that everyone can really benefit from all of the great ideas that we have for one another.